Hi guys, this is Tina Lorraine, your purpose-driven life coach, coming on tonight with the second installment of our series in Damage While Dating, or Dating While Damaged. I don't know. Either way, just damage, right? So last week, and before we get started, let me remind you that I am a certified abundant life coach, and I am here for you. So if you're out there contributing to the damaged people in the community while you're dating, you need to book a session and book it quickly. Because remember, we don't want to use people. We want to be healthy while we're out here dating. So if that describes you, there's no shame in your game. I told you I used to be a damaged dater. Book your appointment. The first 30 minutes are on me. Hey, Brittany. But after that, I don't know what to tell you. A sister got to eat. But we can get you right. I can get you right. Because just like we're doing this series, Damage While Dating, I have a program called Damage While Dating, and it will help you to heal. It will help you to hear God more clearly. It'll help get you right, get you strong, know who you are, get out here and be a beast at dating. That's what you want to do, and you want to do it with the love of God in your heart, so you're not contributing to the damaged daters, right? So let's start off with our topic, which tonight, like I said, is hard questions. And let me tell you how this happened. I belong to a group. And in this group, the question was asked, what is the most important question to ask on a first date? And so I reposted it on my page, but for some reason, you guys weren't so quick to respond this week. Last week, when I was talking about how to get over a relationship, y'all was like responding left and right and everything. But this week, I only got one response, and the response that I got will be in these responses that I'm about to read off from the original page. So here we go. These are the answers that we got from the question. What is the most important question to ask on a first date? Who is paying? You live alone? I don't want no mama's broke boy or baby mama. Are you in a co-parenting situation? Are you married and does your wife know that you're single? That was like the greatest one right there. Are you married? And tell the truth. Are you single? Define being single. What's your definition of dating? I'm like, you guys out here with these comments doing the most, and just the fact y'all really playing that game, define being single, really? Just the fact that those were the kind of questions that we got just tells you why the community is damaged. Because my thing is this. If I'm out here dating and you're out here dating, I think we should be able to assume that you are single. But y'all, some of y'all be out here dating, damaged, with a whole entire family intact. You got polyamorous relationships. You got 10 side chicks, 5 dudes over here, and then talking about I'm single and I'm available. And you ain't no more available than you just not available. So I understand why these type of questions hi Michelle, come up, because everybody just out here doing the most, right? So like I said, like for me, those type of questions to me, like are you married and things like that, those are weed out questions to me. If you remember, the question was, what's the most important question to ask on a first date? So that implies that you've gotten into my physical presence. Those questions like you married and define single and you got a wife, those are weed out questions. That stuff you didn't have a conversation with dude before you got on this date, because that's the type of stuff I ask during the preliminaries. That means if you are any of those things, we're not going out on a date. But I do understand why people have to ask those type of things, because once I'm just going to share one of my experiences of why I understand those type of questions are asked. One time I was talking to this guy, and he told me that he was married up front, bold. And you may say, well, hey, Tina, at least he was transparent. Okay, well, just listen to the story. So he's married, right? He's got a wife. The wife is sick. And she is bedridden, y'all. She's bedridden. She's got 24-hour care, meaning nurses coming in and out the home to care for her when he's not there. And they were not going to get a divorce because he had a good job and his insurance benefits covered all the cost of her care. Do you hear the violins yet? You want me to start playing them? Do you hear the violins? Yeah, he was gonna cover all her costs. So, he was being a big man because he was like, I'm not gonna divorce her because then she'll be just out there in the cold. But we agreed that the marriage is over. And we agreed it's okay for me to go out here and do my thing because, a man got needs and she can't meet them anymore. So, we just agreed. Can you hear the cello and the harp now? We agreed. I'm the man. I'm going to cover her. We're not getting divorced, but the marriage is over. Now, look, I might be sweet, but I ain't stupid, okay? That was nothing but game. And so I let him go off on his dramatic horse, off into the dramatic sunset, because I didn't believe any of that, because this is my thing. Even if that was the truth, which it could have been, maybe it was. This is my thing. You took vows, right? You took vows. I didn't take your vows. You and your wife took your vows. You said for better or for worse. So to me, once you get off that 9-to-5 job, your place is sitting beside that bed in the house, holding her hand, being her all in all until she takes her last breath. And once she takes her last breath and you have buried her, well, then you're single, right? You're not married then. If you're never getting a divorce, then there ain't nothing to say. I don't care if you guys do have an agreement. You're not putting me in that mess. Goodbye. So I do understand why, while, when I was out here really dating, really when I was the most damaged and I was out here dating, my expectations, even though I was damaged, I still had expectations of people playing with a full deck. But they not. They out here catfishing and Netflix and chill, and they don't want to really actually get to know you. And I was just like, wow, I quickly got my butt handed to me on a platter because these people were out here doing the most. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Right? I was like, these people are crazy. They're trying to get me into their crazy world, and they reveling in the nonsense. They're reveling in the destruction and the craziness and the freakiness and all this. They just reveling in it. And so I began to kind of think about the things I have been through in the past with dating. And this verse from the Bible came up, and I just thought it was really appropriate with the hard question theme. And I'm going to read it. When the Queen of Sheba heard about the fame of Solomon and his relationship with the Lord, she came to test Solomon with hard questions. I'm going to read it one more time. When the Queen of Sheba heard about the fame of Solomon and his relationship with the Lord, she came to test Solomon with hard questions. And if you need to know where that is, in case you want to look it up for yourself, it's 1 Kings 10:1. Why is this, somebody could be asking me, well, Tina, well, why you got to throw the Bible in there? Why you got to go to the Bible? Why? Let me tell you why. In my life, the Bible is very important in my spiritual life. And the Bible is full of people who are doing what? Who trying to figure out their life, who trying to figure out their relationship with God, who trying to figure out their relationship with themselves, who trying to find out what their purposes are, who are making mistakes, who are having joyous times, who are having sad times, who are figuring out how to try to grieve. So what does that sound like? The thing that we do with life every day. So all you got to do is swap out the names. Instead of, in this case, Solomon and Sheba, I could say Tina and Ted, whatever I'm going through with my significant other or whoever, my husband or whatever I'm going through in my life. So that's why I use the Bible, because it's a good example. Nothing is new under the sun. The Bible even tells us that. So even generations and thousands of years away, there ain't nothing new going on. So I might as well go look at something that somebody else went through already and see how they managed to get through it. So again, let's go back to the scripture. She, the Queen of Sheba, heard about the fame of Solomon and his relationship with the Lord, and she came to test Solomon with hard questions. Now, we hear a lot of people being called a queen or a king these days. And actually, I kind of talked about that earlier on IGTV. I'm not going to go back into that, but it is, to me, a casual toss away term that is used to pick up people a lot of the times. And that's kind of the way I feel about it now. And it's not because I don't think that we're royalty. Yes, I think I'm a queen, and I'm sure you think you're a king, and everybody should. What I'm saying is, do you really think like you're royal? Do you think like a queen? Do you think like a king? There's a mindset that goes along with the title. It's not just a title you use to get a hookup. And I just see it thrown around loosely, and I'm not in judging anybody. I'm just saying, think about what you're calling yourself and see if you're aligning with what you believe you are. So Sheba heard about Solomon's fame, but she did not believe the hype just about what she heard. What did she do? She went to go see him, and she went to go question him, and not just question him, but question him with hard questions, right? So we can get online and we can meet somebody, and we can read all these profiles, or we can meet somebody in the store, and these profiles, they look great, because what's going to happen? Half the time, they got people writing them for them. So a man's profile might look something like, and when I say this, I know it's not every man or every woman. Please don't take offense. But generally speaking, a man's profile on an online dating app is going to have something to do with romance, taking long walks, with emotions, with being a good provider. And a man's, and a woman's profile might not have to be as prolific, because men are more, as long as those pictures going to be tight, right? But at the end of the day, everything might look and sound good, but what's really going on? Are we more impressed with the package? Are we more impressed with the substance that goes along with the package? So, if a guy is talking about money, or, you see on this profile money, and girlfriend's going, "Ooh, he looked like he got a lot of money." Well, he looking like and actually having wealth are two different things. What is he doing with his money? How is he making his money? Does he know how to make more money? Does he have a financial portfolio? Is he philanthropic with his money? Things like that. Those are questions that go beyond, I've got money, She could be fine as, whatever. She could look like an IG model, like them women that y'all love to look at on IG. She could be really fine, but she can also have some fine STDs. She could have some fine psychotic breaks going on that you don't know nothing about, because you're just looking at the package and not what's beyond the package. And I'm not saying that all pretty and handsome people got issues. What I'm saying is everybody got something going on, and you have to delve beneath what's on the very top. and go down deeper. So that's where the hard questions come in. And you really always have to check your heart in these areas. Like, I'm sure back in the day, Solomon was probably super handsome and super fine. And we already know that historically speaking, he was supposed to be the richest man ever. But the Queen of Sheba just didn't go by that. She had to go out there and see. And when you're in the physical presence of someone, you also have discernment. And that goes for men or women. You got a relationship with God, you have discernment. You can't just go by what somebody is telling you. She said, I heard about you, but let me come see about you. And that's what we all need to be that way. I heard about you, but let me come see about you. And the other thing I wanted to point out is that he had this relationship with the Lord, right? How many times have you all heard, I've got a relationship with the Lord? I can look up a profile right now, or I can walk in a store. And if a guy is interested, or if you're a guy, if a girl is interested, I got a relationship with the Lord. Let's talk about church dude and church girl. They could have grown up in the church all their life or not. They might be attending a church or not, but they got a relationship with the Lord. Now, it's not to judge them, because this is the thing. They could say they have a relationship with the Lord, and if you just go by that and are satisfied, you don't know if their church attendance means, I like to go to church on Easter, Christmas, and Mother's Day. And your church attendance might be, you part of the prophetic dance team, you on the women's ministry, you on the food pantry, you the singles, singles coach or whatever. You sing in the choir. You might do all the, you could be doing all of that. And that's your version of church attendance. And you both say you have a relationship with the Lord. Well, what that person might be doing and what you are doing could be totally two different things. But if you don't ask those hard questions and delve deeper, you're just going to know they have a relationship with the Lord. And another thing, if you have this relationship with the Lord, what do you believe about the Bible? If the Bible is your main, the thing that you use spiritually, if that is what you use, then okay, you say you love the Bible. Well, what do you think about the Bible? Do you take it literally? What's your favorite symbolism in the Bible? Do you use it to guide your life? Do you use it to base your morals off, your principles off? Do you believe Jesus was real? Let's see. There was a whole lot of older religions that were before Christianity. So what makes the Bible the Word of God? What has God done in your life? How is he guiding your business decisions? How is he guiding your love life? See, those questions go beyond, I've got a relationship with the Lord. And if those things are important to you, you need to be asking those questions. Because anybody will say anything if they like you. They will say anything. They will say anything and try to get your trust. And so therefore, this is why you have to ask those hard questions. It's not you being mean, it's you protecting yourself and actually protecting the damaged dating community. So you might say, well, Tina, okay, that's all good and well, but how do I determine what the hard questions are? What are the hard questions? And I'm just going to give you this as a general guide. First of all, make a list. Make a list. What's important to you? Why are you dating? What's your expectations of dating? What are you trying to find? Are you trying to find a soulmate? Are you just trying to have some general fun? Are you friends with benefits? I don't know. You have to define your expectations so you know them from you and so that other person knows clearly what is going on. Now, out of this list, you have to decide what's an absolute. What's an absolute? What is it that I'm just not going to back down off of? For example, in my case, I don't like to be smothered, so I can't do real clingy guys, or guys that have to be with me like when they're not, like as soon as they get off work, they got to be with me. If they're not doing something, they got to be with me. I can't do that because I need a lot of me time. I'm more of an introvert. So for me, that's an absolute. You have to have life beyond your job. You have to have some friends of your own. You got to have some stuff going on in your own life. You're not going to make me your idol. So that's an absolute for me. But you have to determine what's your absolutes. What are the things you're just not going to back down off of? Is it that, I believe in Christianity, and if you believe in something else, then we can't talk. I don't care if you're a Buddhist, then that's it. We can't talk. You have to determine that. Is it an absolute? Or out of that list, the first things are absolutes. Then what can you compromise on? Maybe it's important to him or to her. They have these big family gatherings and these dinners once a month where their mama and daddy and grandma and grandpa, and auntie and Girl Scout and cousins and nieces and nephews are all there, and they have dinner and cookouts and barbecues once a month. And maybe you're a little bit more introverted like I am, and you're not really that crazy about big family gatherings that kind of make you uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, you're like, it'll challenge me in a good way, and it'll make him or her happy. So I can do that. I can compromise my time like that. I can do that. I could be a little uncomfortable. And after all, he wants me to get to know his family, so he must care about me enough to want to do that. So I can do that. So you have to find things that you want to compromise on. First thing is, what's an absolute for you? Second thing is, what can you compromise on? The third thing is, it's things that are what's not important. What's just not that important. You might not even need to list that. Maybe maybe he wants to watch football all day on Sunday. And I don't care, but you have to determine what's just not that important, So first, what's an absolute? Second, what can you compromise on? Third, if you must, what's not that important? And you have to know that. And I could just feel it. It's like, that's a lot of work, Tina. Dang, you mean I got to do all that? What you mean by all that? All that is going to keep your butt out the fire. You saying ain't no good men out here, or ain't no good women out here. Well, how you gonna say something like that when you're not even taking the effort to weed them out? If you're not doing any weeding, if you're not asking the hard questions, then of course there ain't no good men, no whatever out there. You're not even vetting any of them. You just letting them in because you want to date. You may say, well, that's too hard. I just want to date. Well, you can do that, but you're going to keep getting your butt handed to you on a platter. I'm going to tell you, these people are crazy out here. They're crazy. And if you have no vetting, no discernment, no nothing, you're just going to be a damaged Desiree out here. Whatever. You're going to be damaged. A damaged Dan, damaged Desiree, and you're going to continue to contribute to the damaged community. And you're like, but that's so hard. Hence the topic, hard questions. I just want a good man. I just want a good woman. Hard questions. I want a good provider. Hard questions. I want a spiritual man. Hard questions. I want a woman I can trust with my heart. Hard questions. I want a feminine woman. Why did I say that? Because you guys remember Prince. I don't know if y'all too young, but there's this singer called Prince, and I was crazy about this man. I was so crazy about him. I went to all the concerts. I did, all my whole walls were decorated. I had all the albums. I sang all the songs. And, one day in his career, he became the artist formerly known as Prince. And he had the male sign with the circle, the male sign with the circle that goes, down or whatever. And so why did I say that? Because, you might, you might want a feminine woman, but it could be Teresa, formerly known as Tyrone. Hard questions, right? You got to ask those questions because these days, because you might have wanted Teresa to be Teresa from the time she was born all the way up until you met her. And she might have been Tyrone before she became Teresa. So you have to ask those hard questions, right? Okay, so again, hard questions requires you to know you and to get quiet and to understand what your expectations are. And, looking at these profiles and meeting people, somebody might say, hey, I'm an entrepreneur. And you might say, I've never been an entrepreneur, so I wouldn't know what type of questions to ask. Well, Cortana, Siri, Google are all at your fingertips. See, those are that type of stuff. All you got to do is go online and see, I don't know what business systems are. Look them up. You can get whatever you need at the tip of your fingertips. I mean, really. Now, I want to just clarify something about hard questions. Hard questions are not what's your favorite color, what your astrological sign is, because if your moon meets with my moon, then we can make a whole sun. It's not that. What's your favorite drink? That's frivolous stuff, and it doesn't matter. Why doesn't it matter, Tina? Well, here's the thing. What do you care about frivolous questions like that? Because to me, you might not be here next week. If I get done with these hard questions, I might not see you next week. And those type of frivolous questions, like what your color is, favorite colors, that's for somebody who I've been with for a while. It seems like it's going somewhere. We like each other. And then I might want to buy him an article of clothing or something, or a baseball cap. Well, then I might need to know what your favorite color is. But off the bat, as a most important question on a date, a first date, or even a weed out question before you even get to sit across the table, for me, no, I don't need to know what your favorite movie is. No, I don't need to know your favorite color. I don't care about your astrological sign or your drink, because again, you might not see me after today, after this conversation. So don't confuse hard questions with frivolous questions. There's nothing wrong with frivolous questions, but don't waste them on people that you're not going to be around for long. Okay? So, even after all the hard questions, I just want to say this. For me, even above the hard questions, insight from God is always numero uno on my list. Because I have been through enough in my life that I have learned to trust my gut. And my gut is not going to lead me wrong. There have been times when I have been out here dating and I was so damaged, I was aligned with my damaged mind. And so I couldn't hear red flags. I couldn't see red flags. I was aligned with my damage, and that's all I could see. It wasn't that God wasn't putting the warnings out there, because I look back on it and I'm like, the warning signs was there. I wasn't present. My wasn't present. So let God tell me, let me start feeling that funniness in my gut, and I'm sitting across, or on the phone or texting, and dude's saying all the right stuff, and God's saying no. Guess what Tina does? Nope. Let me feel some kind of way in my gut. I will get up like the road runner, and you will see my smoke. I trust my gut, and the more I trust my gut, the quicker I react to it. If I hear God, that's why I'm like, insight from God is so important, because here's the thing. God knows all about you, and God knows all about that other person. Whether the other person believes in them or not, whether, you believe in them or not, God still made you. So he still cares enough about you that he's going to give you warning signals that this might not be, no, baby, no. And if you just so busy just trying to have a date or trying to have a relationship, and you just go full steam ahead because you're not aligned with your inner voice, that voice of God, and you just go off into the sunset with this person, then you're gonna end up in a damaged situation, you know. And the perfect example of this is last week in a video, I shared a story about this guy who I clearly stated my intentions to him at the beginning. We're going to be just friends, and that's it. And he agreed with his mouth, but then his actions were, he was sending me YouTube about relationships. He was sending poems, and then every once in a while, oh, I'm so beautiful, and I'm falling for you, and I would have to snatch him back to, we are just friends. So when he continued with that behavior, I just shut it down nicely. I told him why I was doing what I was doing. I said, you're getting attached. I clearly stated to you, we can only be friends. And I met friends. I ain't talking about no friends with benefits, none of that. We just gonna talk. That's all I'm available for. Because I knew I did not have energy or focus for a relationship. So I told him off the bat. But the thing was, he felt because I was a woman, and because all women want relationships, that's all what they look for, that's what they exist for, blah, blah, blah. He thought he can change my mind. And then when that didn't happen, he got mad. I mean, he got belligerent. And see, if somebody, because you could look at that and say, he was really interested in you, Tina. That could have been a relationship. What did you shut that down for? Hello, I did not want a relationship. Just because a guy, or if you're a guy, just because a girl wants a relationship with you, doesn't mean that you're obligated to give them what they want. What do you want? I told him I did not want a relationship. I don't have the energy. I don't have the focus for that. I don't want it. And then he got really angry to the point where I had to block and delete and all those things. Now see, if somebody really loves you, he was just love bombing. If somebody really loves you, they don't go from hot to cold like that. They don't treat you like that. They don't. I just pushed all his buttons in his physical world, and he thought he can, with all that love stuff and poems and all that other stuff, he thought, eventually I'll get her. She don't know what she want. I already knew what I wanted. I already knew what's an absolute for me. I already knew what I was looking for. I told him that. And that's why I'm telling you, you have to know you before you can call yourself going out here being a healthy dater. You have to know you. You have to be quiet. You have to get quiet. You have to listen to God. You have to listen to your gut. So speaking of which, my simple rule is this for dating and keeping yourself out of harm's way. If your gut says no, so do you. If my gut says no, so do I. The more you trust your gut, the more you will hear it. I don't need to go the long way around anymore. What's the long way around? You're probably familiar with it. He's so charismatic. He said he loves me. He said he wants to marry me. She's so beautiful. I've never seen anybody that looks like her. She seems like, oh my gosh, she's just this beautiful queen. I just love her. We need to get married. We get married. I come home and OMG, all the furniture is gone out of my house from this man who loved me, from this man who's so charismatic, from this man who was preaching the gospel. OMG, this dude got a drug problem. OMG, I done came home, my wife, she got 7 other different personalities aside from the first one I saw in the first 6 months when I was with her. Because I didn't trust my what? Gut. You don't want, You can come and see that your bank account is cleared out from this wonderful, beautiful girl that looked like an IG model. She looked like she had it all together. Now I don't have no money. Your gut always tells you. Your gut always tells you. And the more you trust your gut, the better off you will be. Remember that saying, and I don't know, you guys might be too young, but I'm going to say it. You know, older people used to say, a hard head makes a soft behind. And the reason why your behind gets so soft from the telling you, because you keep falling on it. And I don't have no big butt anyway, y'all. I don't. So I was steady falling on my butt, and I couldn't even afford to be falling on it. I fell on it so much that I was like, I got tired. I got tired of it being so. And I said, okay, I got to stop. I got to press pause. I got to go get me together because I'm out here. Or better yet, no. Let me stop. You know, I'm out here adding to the damaged community. So let God say no now. You see her, Tina's quick like a puppet, like you can't even see the invisible strings. God say no, Tina be like, nope. Matter of fact, you remember them old-timey churches? The first time I saw this, I was like in my 20s because I didn't grow up in a traditional black church. I was Catholic. So I didn't get the traditional black experience until I was married. And you know, like you're sitting in the sanctuary in the pew and service is going on and people put that finger up to leave the sanctuary, you know, to go to the bathroom or whatever. That's the way I am if God tell me no about somebody. I'd just be like, that finger be up and I'll be gone. I'm just gone. All you see is my smoke now. Before, I used to, is it God? Is it me? Or maybe I'm not hearing right. Or maybe that's not what I'm seeing. Maybe he really didn't do that. Maybe he didn't really mean to say that. God say no, Tina say no. And that's just the end of it. I just wanted to come on briefly and just really share that with you guys. Remember the list. Remember to get quiet. This is your life. It's your life. And you do not want to be out here damaged while dating. You make your list. You determine what's an absolute. You determine what you can compromise on. You determine what just doesn't matter. And you know that. Know yourself. That's what meditation is for. It's for you to get to know you, be introspective about you, be introspective about God, and to trust your gut and to learn how to operate as a spiritual being that you are, because we're all spiritual, whether we recognize it or not. So the more we learn how to operate in our spiritual, with our spiritual selves, the better off we will be. And we will, you know, we'll, oh gosh, my mind is going. We will bypass a lot of the hurt. It's not to say that you will never hurt or never go through stuff in life. But if you look at your life, I can look at my life and see some stuff I just did not have to go through. But because I was damaged from sexual abuse. I was damaged from a controller. I was damaged. And when your mindset is damaged, it affects everything. It affects everything. Your relationships with yourself, with God, how you view God. And you don't want to be out here damaged like that. So do yourself a favor and ask those hard questions. You say you a queen, you say you a king, well, develop the mindset of a king or a queen and ask those hard questions. Ask them to keep your butt out the fire, okay? Promise me you'll do that. And if you don't know how to do that, book your consultation. Like I said before, I am a former damaged dater. I am healed now. I have a program for damaged daters, so I can help you get there. Don't be ashamed. It's not about shame. God never shames us. That's part of the reason why we're out here dating damaged, is because we're looking for people to do stuff that only God can do in the first place. So that was the question of the week. I pray and hope that you guys really got something from this. And share your testimonies. If you're on the other side of being a damaged dater, share it. If you're going through it, share it. There's no shame here. There's no judgment here. I love you guys. This is Tina Lorraine, the Purpose Driven Life Coach. You be purposeful. You choose life. I love you. Have a good evening. Bye. Remember Prince, Brittany. Prince. Purple Rain. See you guys later. Bye.